Today I'm going to be comparing the three newest Natasha Denona palettes. We have the I Need a Nude palette, Golden, and then the newest I Need a Warm. So I wanted to demonstrate these palettes today by doing the same eyeshadow look formula, but with each palette. So when you can see each eye side by side, you can see the subtle undertones and the differences in the shades. Before we dive into everything, I wanted to quickly mention that I do have a code on Natasha Denona's website. It's just ANGELABRIGHT, and that'll save you some money. And then I have already done in-depth swatch videos of each of these palettes, and I do compare them to other similar palettes and some side-by-side comparisons. If you want to see swatches and more of an overhead view, I'm going to link those videos down below for you. Here's my little eyeshadow formula that I did for each look. So I did a light to medium matte shade in the crease, and I also added that to the outer corner. And then I deepened up the look with the deepest brown shade in each palette. And then I put those two matte shades on my lower lash line, and then I would do a light shimmer on the inner lid and a deeper shimmer on more of the center to 3/4 of the lid. So with that eyeshadow formula, I'm kind of doing the same type of look with each palette, but this way we can see the different undertones and shades. For the first look, I'm going to start with the newest palette, so I'm going to go in with I Need a Warm. I'm going to take the shade Soft Spot on a crease brush, and I'm going to start with this shade on my outer crease to kind of deepen it up out here, and then I'll start to bring in the shade towards my inner crease once there's less product on the brush. Now I'm picking up more of that same shade, and I'm going to pat that on the outer half of my eyelid. And then I have a little bit more of that shadow on the tip of this brush, and I'm going to run that across my entire lower lash line. Now on the same brush, I'm going to take a little bit of Mellow, and I like to use a shade like this just to soften out the edges of that brown crease shade. And this is just going to give me a very soft blend. Now I'm going to pick up the deepest brown shade in the palette, so for this one it's Pep. And again, I'm using the same brush, and I just have a bit of that shadow on the tip of the brush, and I'm going to use that to deepen up the outer part of my eyelid even more. And then again, I'm going to take whatever's left on my brush along the outer part of my lower lash line. Now that I have all of my matte shades laid down, I'm going to add two shimmers. I'm going to take Fancy on my finger, and that's going to go on the inner blank part of my lid. And then for my deeper shimmer, I'm going to pick up Hanker, and I just have a little bit of that, and I'm going to place this shimmer right where the dark matte brown meets that lighter shimmer shade, right on the outer 3/4 of my lid. I'm going to add just a bit more Fancy to kind of blend those two shades together. And then I'm going back to my crease brush just to do a soft blend in the crease. And here is what this eyeshadow formula looks like with the I Need a Warm palette. You can see there definitely is quite a bit of warmth to this look, especially with that soft spot shade in my crease. And then we have that warmer deep brown on the outer corner, a kind of champagne on the inner lid. Now let's do the same formula on this eye, but this time with the Golden palette. For my crease shade, I'm going to pick up Teak, and same exact thing, I'm starting the shade on my outer crease to build up the pigment here, but then I will soften it and bring it throughout the entire crease. And then I'm building up that shade on my outer lid. And same shade along my lower lash line. And then for my lighter shade to blend, I'm going to pick up Flesh, and I'm using that to soften around all of the edges. For my lighter shimmer shade, I'm going to take Kava. Again, that's going on the inner lid. I just realized I forgot my deeper shade. Let me do that. For the deepest brown shade, I'm picking up Log. So taking a bit of this and adding that to the very outer corner to deepen it up. And then a little bit along the outer part of my lower lash line. Okay, now I can go back in with my shimmers. For my deeper shimmer shade, I'm going to pick up Varus. And again, that's going on the outer 3/4 of the lid. And then going in with a bit more Kava just to kind of blend those two together. And here's the final eye look with the Golden palette. So here's a quick side-by-side between somewhat of the same look with the I Need a Warm palette and then the Golden palette. Now these are the two eye looks that I wanted to do a side-by-side just so you could see the differences of the tones between the two palettes. Because part of me does see a little bit of warmth in the Golden look, but overall I do still see just a lot of gold, especially on that inner lid shade, and even the crease looks a little bit more kind of golden neutral brown. Whereas this crease pulls a little bit more warm and almost kind of peachy. And that's one thing I wanted to point out with the I Need a Warm palette is that the overall palette does pull kind of peachy. I've had people even say it should be called the I Need a Peach palette. Looking at these two eye looks on my very fair skin that's kind of more neutral cool, I actually prefer how the Golden looks on my complexion right now. I feel like it's just making this eye kind of pop overall, where this one, it almost feels like it's washing me out just a little bit. But for example, if I had a fake tan on that does have a lot of warmth in it, this eye look would probably look better on that kind of skin tone. All right, now we're on to the third look with the I Need a Cool palette. I'm gonna start with Stone on my crease brush, and this is gonna be my crease shade. So again, building it up on the outer corner, but then bringing it throughout the entire crease. Now I think you'll notice right away just how much cooler this shade is and almost a bit more gray it is than the other two crease shades I used for the other two looks. And again, adding this shade to the outer part of my eyelid. And the lower lash line. And then for my light blending shade, I'm going to pick up Fair, and I'm using that to soften and smooth out all of these edges even more. And then for my deepest brown shade, I'm going to take Silhouette, and again, placing that on the very outer corner. And then a little bit on the very outer part of my lower lash line. For my light shimmer shade, I'm going to use Whisper. And again, this lighter shimmer is going on the inner part of the lid. And then for my deeper shimmer, I'm going to use Filigree. And then again, taking more Whisper to blend the two together. All right, and this is the final eye look with the I Need a Nude palette. It's definitely really clear how just cool tone this look is overall with these shades. And for me, with my fair, neutral, cool tone skin, I think this palette does look the best on me with these type of shades. I went ahead and finished the rest of my makeup, and I did apply the other eye again with the I Need a Nude palette. So to wrap this up, I really do think it kind of depends on your specific undertone and just the eyeshadow shades that you like to wear if you're deciding between these three palettes. I think for those with the light skin tone who have more cool undertones and you like more softer eyeshadow looks, I would go with I Need a Nude. I think the Golden palette is a very classic palette, and if you like neutral leaning gold shades, I think you would love this. Because this palette is a bit more neutral, I don't really think it matters if you have warm or cool undertones. You just kind of gotta like gold shadows because you are getting quite a few gold yellowy shades in here. And then I think that I Need a Warm is best for the people who have a warm undertone. You like more bronzy, peachy looks, you like something a bit more intense. I think those people would love this palette. Again, if you want to check out any of these palettes, my code ANGELABRIGHT can save you some money on Natasha Denona's website. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.